Shalom and Shalom, Black Israel. This is another video that I want to make about fringes because a lot of so-called Hebrew Israelites out here, they believe that they are making their fringes properly, but it's not according to Scripture. The Scriptures do not tell us to only put fringes or border on blue on the lower extremity of our garments, whether it's a t-shirt, whether it's a robe, whether it's, if we're getting creative, making, our pants, putting fringes and a border blue on those, even our hats, because I got hats with a border of blue around, and then it got the fringes cut into the bottom part. I don't have it on this particular hat, but in previous videos I do have one that I invented like that. But nonetheless, a lot of these Hebrew Israelites, they believe that they are wearing their fringes and their garments correctly, but they're really not. And I'm gonna prove that real quick. Because it says in scriptures, let me focus on Numbers chapter 15, verse 38. Speak until the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. Now, let's focus on the generations thing. First of all, a lot of these Hebrew Israelites, not only are they making their fringes wrong, and so as a result they're wearing them wrong, but also they're not even wearing them every day. So, I mean, is that kind of hypocritical when it tells us that we're supposed to wear them throughout our generation? Generation means as long as you're living, in a generation, whether it's the previous generation or the future generations. As long as you're alive and you're in this truth, then you should be wearing your garments, your holy garments. But let me get into the explanation as to why a lot of us are wearing them wrong. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 12, thou shalt make thee fringes upon the four quarters of thy vesture, wherewith thou coverest thyself. Okay, so let's focus on the four quarters. A lot of Hebrew Israelites, they believe that you only put your fringes on the lower part of your shirt, like this, and and they consider it four quarters because they got the front part, the left side, the right side, and the back. That's four quarters to them, but that's not according to Scripture. Four quarters actually means the lower extremity all the way around, from front to back, and also the second quarter, which will be your right arm, third quarter, which will be your left arm, and your fourth quarter, which will be your upper extremity around your shoulders and your necks. That's where you put the border of blue and the fringes. But a lot of these Hebrew Israelites who don't really know what they're talking about, they're only putting it on the lower part of their garments, whether it's their t-shirt, whether it's their robes, whether it's, their pants, their hats. I know the hats are different. That's something creative. But even our ancient ancestors, even us, we were doing it back then in ancient biblical times. We were just creative like that. We put fringes and border on blues on all of our garments. A garment is not just a t-shirt. A garment is just another word for clothing. Clothing could be pants, it could be, socks, it could be your anything you cover your body with. But of course it's your t-shirt, and it's your the things that most people see, the outerwear, which would be the t-shirt and the pants and the shorts or whatever. But garment could be anything, even your underwear, even the drawers that are under your clothes. That's a garment. I mean, you could put I mean, I know it sounds funny, but you could even put fringes on that. You know, we're creative people. We're a peculiar, holy, people. We're the salt of the planet. We invent everything, so we're inventive like that. But again, 4 quarters. The lower part of your garment, whether it's your t-shirt or your robe, if you're a priest, or some type of you know like Moses was wearing back in ancient biblical times, where he had his long robe on and he had fringes on the bottom of his robe. If you're wearing robes, then I mean, the same rules apply. But a lot of us Hebrew Israelites, we're not really doing that. Normally, it's the bishops, the high priests, and all that who wear all of that stuff, who wear the robes and stuff. But nonetheless, on our garments, you got the lower quarter, which is the first quarter. You got the second quarter, which could be either the right or the left arm. The left arm, the other arm will be the third quarter, and the top part will be the third quarter. But let's read that again. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 12. Thou shalt make the fringes upon the 4 quarters of thy vesture. Vesture is another word for clothing or garment, wherewith thou coverest thyself. So whatever vesture or garment that you cover yourself with, whether it's t-shirts, whether it's pants, whether it's robes, whether it's hats, whether it's whatever, you know what I'm saying? Socks, underwear. I mean, a lot of us ain't creative like that. We don't even think about doing all that. But at least your outerwear, your outer clothing, you should put a border of blue and fringes upon the lower part all the way around on your t-shirt or robe or whatever. The same with your left arm and the same with your right arm, which would be the third quarter. And then finally, the fourth quarter will be the upper parts of your garment. Also, what I've learned too that these Hebrew Israelites are doing wrong is they are adding other materials to their main clothing. So your main clothing may be cotton based, or it may be a mixture of cotton and polyester or whatever, which is not biblical. The Creator don't want us doing that. But when we get from our enemies, we don't get 100% cotton based clothing, then that's what happens. But we should make sure that it's only one type of material. But when you add fringes onto your garment and it's already made by a manufacturer, then normally it's not the same material, so you're mixing materials. I mean, it says in scripture that we shouldn't mix materials, certain materials. That's just how the Most High wants it to be. It's just like mixing, certain race of people. He don't want us race mixing. I had to learn that the hard way. But back to these fringes. When you add fringes onto your clothing, your Hebraic holy clothing, cut them into the fabric. Cut them into. Don't add another pre-made form of material in the form of fringes onto your garment. That's the best way to do it, because it's going to be the same material. So if you starting off with a garment, whether it's a t-shirt or whatever, that's 100% cotton, and you cut the fringes into that, and then you add the border of blue onto that, which is made of cotton also, then you're going to have a fully cotton base or linen base, whatever you use, it's going to be all the same material. But, we're supposed to cut, when we're making our own Hebraic holy garments, we're supposed to cut the fringes into the edges of the 4 quarters of our garment. And it should be the same material. But a lot of Hebrew Israelites, they don't do that. They buy them pre-made from these other nations. and they just added to that, and they added to their main garment, and a lot of times the materials don't match up. Now I do know certain materials I believe we can mix, but certain materials like silk and fur, or silk and cotton, polyester and cotton, suede and silk, stuff like that. We don't really we don't really need to. We're not supposed to do that. But anyway, I thought I'd make this video about how a lot of us Hebrew Israelites are making our garments and wearing our garments improperly according to Scripture. Also, I want to make a video also. Well, I'll explain in this video how we need to stop being afraid of wearing our garments. Stop worrying about what these other nations are gonna say. Oh man, he looks strange. I mean, what's this? I mean, it ain't nothing but another style. So what's the big deal about it? And not only that, it's our customs. This is our dress code. And not only that, it's the first dress code that was ever given to man. It's the first style. It's this Hebraic style. It's the first that was ever presented and established, and every other clothing and dress style actually evolved from the Hebraic dress code. We was first, just like we were the first people on the planet. We were given the first language, which is the I forgot how you say it, the Lahakwa Kodesh or something. I can't say it right off it's a very weird name. I'm still trying to get my Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew language up to par. I know a few Paleo Hebrew names and languages, and I could even put them in sentences and all of that, but I'm not fluent with it yet, but I'm trying to study it. But again, Hebrew man and woman, we're supposed to be a light until the world. Okay, we're not supposed to be out here, afraid to wear our fringes. I mean, even if we're being hassled at our job indirectly by our boss, they acting funny or whatever because of how we dress. I mean, if they don't fire you or do anything bad like that to you, then don't worry about what they think or say. I've had people act real strange around me, and I knew it was because of how I dressed. It was like, man, look at bro, like staring at me hard, like not even asking no questions. Like, how can you stare at somebody and not ask no questions? Like, that's weird as heck. Like, I'm thinking, like, dang, what he thinking? What's on his mind? But anyway, that's why, because I mean, our clothing is holy, it's ancient. You know what I'm saying? It's anointed, it's unique, it's special. It's part of our armor, our spiritual armor. So don't be afraid of wearing your fringes, black man, Hebrew black man and black woman. Go out there, make your own clothing, get your materials, make your Hebraic clothing, and go out there and don't be afraid. I know we're in the land of our captivity. Got a piece of tape stuck to my. I be building stuff, and I'm an inventor and stuff like that. So I be having little pieces of tape. It could be Scotch tape, electrical tape. I be having hot glue because I be dealing with the hot glue gun. So sometimes I'll be having like little stuff, like little glue stuck to my shirt and all type of stuff. I be cutting up stuff. It'd be shavings or paper shavings and clippings everywhere. So that's just what I do. So that's one of my spiritual gifts that the Most High blessed you with naturally. So I want to probably get into making videos about that too. My glorious gifts from the Most High. I got many, and I know the Most High, you want to get His glory out of it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. I just wanted to let it be known that a lot of these so-called Hebrew Israelite groups out here, they're wearing their fringes and their just pretty much their whole holy garment is not scriptural. Again, you don't just have fringes and a border of blue on the lower part of your garments, whether it's your t-shirt or your robe. You have it on your arms and your neck. And if you're creative, put it on your hat too. I'm gonna show you my other Hebraic garment, the one that says 613 on it, which stands for the 613 law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. That one have fringes cut into the edges of the hat with the border blue. So we're creative, peculiar people. That's what we should be doing. I mean, if y'all don't want to be creative like that, at least just put it on your t-shirt and stuff like that. You don't have to have a emblem or a symbol or anything like that. That's just a little extra stuff that I be doing. But and there was one more thing. It came back to mind that I want to mention about our holy garments, and that is a lot of these Hebrew Israelites, when they out there teaching and preaching, what they'll say is, you know, they'll tell those who they're, you know, preaching and teaching to that they should have their garments on as a reminder, you know, so when they go in their pocket, you know what I'm saying, and they reach for that money while they're in that convenience store about to get them cigarettes or, you know, stuff like that, they'll see the fringes or whatever, and they'll see the border blue, and they'll remember the law, statutes, and commandments of the Creator, you know, and they'll think twice, you know, oh, I'm a child of the Most High, you know, I'm not gonna buy that, I'm not gonna defile my temple. That's true, but what if you looking at a woman, you ain't gonna look down at the lower part of your garment, you know what I'm saying, and see your fringes and your border on blue and remember the law, statutes, and commandments of the Creator and be like, yo, because your eyes is up here. You know what I'm saying? You ain't looking down there to go in your pocket at that moment in time to, buy something from the convenience store or the gas station or whatever. So you got to have some fringes or border on blue at the up where your eyes are, so you could and what's closer? Your lower part where your waist is, where the fringes down there are located, or the ones up by your neck, around your collar and your arms and all that. You could see that, and then you could be like, man, man, I ain't supposed to be looking at that, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm not supposed to be lusting, after that woman, you know what I'm saying? That ain't my girl, I don't know her, you know what I'm saying? If anything, you go rebuke her and be like the Most High said, you ain't supposed to be wearing what pertaining to a man. You ain't supposed to be letting it all hang out, wearing all that makeup and the fake hair and all of that stuff. That's not biblical. You're a chosen, holy people. You're set apart, so if anything, you should have your fringes all everywhere, basically, all over your garments. Just get creative with it. But, you got people out here playing, these kids out here playing. So hopefully y'all can hear me. But yeah, that's how that go. It's just not having fringes and a border of blue on the lower part of your shirt or robe or whatever. So when you go in your pocket, you'll see them, and they'll remind you of the laws, of statutes, and commandments of the Creator. That's true, but what if you don't look down, but you looking straight ahead, or you looking up, or whatever, you looking behind your shoulder, or whatever? You should be able to see the fringes on your arms, and on your collar and stuff like that, and even on your head. If you had some long fringes hanging on the borders of your hat, on the front part of your hat, that'll remind you. Believe it or not, our ancient ancestors, a lot of people call them Hebrew Israelites. I like to call them the Yehuans or Yehudi. They wear hats. The men did anyway. They wear hats that have fringes and border on blues around the hats. Believe it or not, and they were some long fringes to where they couldn't even see in front of them almost. Certain Hebrew Israelite tribes did that. So we were a creative people. So me having fringes and a border on blue on my hats, that's nothing new. You know, Most High said that there's nothing new under the sun. So even though this is a different type of modern hat, a baseball or basketball hat that I decided to convert into a holy Hebraic hat with the border on blue and the fringes. The whole idea of it is not new. That's all ancient. But anyway, I hope this video was edifying to you, and if it was, if it blessed you, you know what I'm saying, opened up your eyes to what we should be doing according to the law, statutes, and commandments, with the dress code laws and all of that, then comment and subscribe, and you know what I'm saying, and hit that notification bell so that you could be, warned or, notified basically when I post a new video, because I'm getting back into the mode where I'm gonna make more videos. I'm gonna be more dedicated, because I've been slacking. I know I have. So I'm gonna be more dedicated. I'm gonna drop every time I desire to make a video. I'm gonna make at least 2 videos a day. It won't be every day, but when I do make videos, it's gonna be more than one basically, and I'm gonna post the same day. So I'll catch y'all in the next video, and peace and shalom.